Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? I was just driving around, getting the car all toasty warm to start vlogging. I was listening to a little music. I downloaded some songs I had tagged. I love Shazam. I wish we had had that Shazam when I was growing up. I remember I would like record a song off the radio. Do you guys remember that? If you're my age, you'll remember this. We would have like a tape cassette, you know, in the tape recorder, and then you would wait for a song to come on the radio. Like on Friday night, like Hot Hits or something, you know, and then you would record the song. But then you would want to buy the song. So you would go into the store and you would like not have the name of the song if it wasn't like something super famous. So you would, you know, go in there with your friends. This was when I was in high school, but before then I didn't have any friends. So I would just go in there with my mom and I would make her ask for me. But when we were in high school, you know, we would go in there and we would like, we'd say, I'm trying to think of a song, you know, like from The Cure or something like, do you know this song that starts off, show me, show me, show me? And they'd be like, yeah, that's The Cure. It's over there in the alternative section. When the alternative section of music, tape cassettes, that is, was like all of these punk rock, British new age bands. Now I think alternative is considered something entirely different. Anyway, do you guys remember, well, first there were 45s. I had a lot of 45s. I still do. I think I showed them actually on my Peter Does Stuff channel. And then do you guys remember when you would buy tape cassettes that were singles? And it would either have like on one side, it would have like the song, and then on the B side, it would have like the mix of it. Or you would buy just the mix. Or it would be like the song you want on one side, and then the other side it would be like some just like random song of theirs that was like horrible. Do you remember that? You guys, I have so many tape cassettes in my basement. I have bags and boxes of them. I don't know what to do with them. I just need to throw them all out, don't I? I mean, it's pointless now. I go into Urban Outfitters, it cracks me up. Well, I haven't been into Urban Outfitters in forever, but when I went like a year ago probably to get Alex a gift card or something for Christmas, they like sell tape cassettes in there now for like these outrageous prices, which I'm like, you could just have them. I'll just give you all these tape cassettes, which kind of cracks me up. Like, that's the thing. I don't want to sell them out. I don't want to sell them in case they like come back, you know, like how vinyl came back. What if tape cassettes come back and then I've just thrown all of my tape cassettes out? Then I'll be so upset. I'll be bitter. My new cup came today, my new lavender cup. I couldn't find it at Starbucks anywhere, so actually, before it even came out, they were supposed to be like at certain Starbucks, but I ended up buying it on Etsy because I wanted to buy it on Etsy before it came out, because I wanted to see if it was cheaper than if you buy it on Etsy after it comes out, which I think it is. Like after the cup comes out, they're like $80 or $100, but I think I still paid a lot for this cup. Tonight, Alex was like, I said, did you see my new cup came? He said, yeah, I wondered if that was new. And I said, yeah. He's like, did we need another new cup? I'm like, well, yeah, because of the pool. It's lavender. See, it's so beautiful. I still have some of my coffee left. The pool meaning like every day at the pool, I'm gonna take a different cup. I actually we have this under, like next to the sink on both sides, we have these cabinets. And this one side of the cabinet, it's like this thing that spins. And I was actually looking down there tonight because I made some pink lemonade. I was craving orange juice. And I didn't want to leave the house because I made frozen pizza for Alex and I. And then I also made this Havarti mac and cheese from Cracker Barrel. That was absolutely so delicious. If you like macaroni and cheese and you like Havarti cheese, I would definitely recommend it. Although it's not like really, I thought it would be like really strong tasting like Havarti. It wasn't. It was just like a really creamy mac and cheese. It was great. And so I was looking underneath our cabinets to try to find a picture because I wanted some orange juice. So like I love to eat macaroni and cheese with a peanut butter sandwich and orange juice. I don't know why I think those three go together, but I do. And I didn't have a peanut butter sandwich tonight because I had the pizza. So I was like, oh, well, I have pink lemonade and I have yellow lemonade, like Crystal Light, that I hadn't made this summer, but I had bought the things. And so I had that up in the cabinet. So I was like, well, I'll just make some pink lemonade. So I couldn't find the container to make the lemonade, not the, the pitcher, which we don't have a lot of pitchers, but we have like one of them, that we make. We have like some glass ones that are really nice, but we don't have like several plastic ones, but we have one that's good. And so I was looking for it and I couldn't find it, but like on the left-hand side, which I probably have like 5, you guys, these cups are now becoming ridiculous how many of them I have. I probably at this point have like 30 of these cups. 30 or 40 of them, like no exaggeration. So, because people send them to me and then I buy them and then I have special ones, and so I have all these cups up there. But Alex, I'm running out of space, like where I keep my coffee mugs. And so, like, I can't put one more Starbucks cup up there, it won't fit. And I said to Alex, I said, I don't know, like I said this to him recently, like, I don't know where I'm gonna put these cups. And he was like, well, what about down there in that cabinet if you cleaned out that cabinet and threw that stuff out there? Well, it's like a lot of stuff of like my mom's. I had this moment of clarity last night where I was like, I keep the stuff that my mom had, not all of it, but like there's been a few pieces of my mom's that I've kept. Like, she has like this duck, it's like this white glass thing, and then on top of it, it's like, if you look at it, it looks like a white duck. It's very cool. And it's like a souffle or a casserole dish that you would take to somebody's house. Like, I've kept that. I've kept some other things. I've kept these French onion bowls that are like metal, that are like, actually you put like real French onion soup in it that kind of like goes over the side, or you can do creme brulee in it. And like all these different things for cooking, because my mom liked to try all those different things. I kind of joke about my mom not being a great cook. She wasn't a great baker. She couldn't make cookies, but she could make like really good bread. Like, cookies were really the only thing she wasn't good at. But like, she could make good dinners. She wasn't the best cook in the entire world, but the thing that was weird about my mom was like, she could do something very unique and do it very, very well. But then like mainstay stuff was just like, okay, So, or like everyday stuff was just okay. So, like, I've kept all this stuff, and I'm kind of like, why am I keeping all of this? And then last night, I was laying in bed, and I kind of had this moment of clarity where I was like, we've lived in this house. I was like, okay, my mom moved in here Christmas of '94, because that's when I was in treatment. And so really 2005 or 1995 was when she moved in, pretty much like the beginning. And then she passed away in 2008. And I was like, but she went to the hospital like in February. That was like the last time she was home, I think. Yeah. So, like the end of February. So I was like, we have been almost in the house as long as she has. Because this is our 13th year together. And I still have all of this stuff of my mom's, and I'm like, what am I doing? And so I was like, this stuff needs to go. Like, my mom would not, like, she would have been like, yeah, I'm glad that you kept the black leather chair with chrome and the ottoman, because I love that chair. And, she would have been happy about those kinds of things. But, like, the rest of it, she'd have been like, get rid of it and have your own stuff. Like, my mom would not have been somebody that would have been like, oh, I want you to hold on to it forever. Like, maybe a few things, like a cookbook that her friend made or something like that. But, like pans and pots and stuff, she would have been like, get rid of all of that stuff. She wouldn't have cared. She would have been like, I want you to have your own stuff. So I think it's time to start doing like a major purge. And I think that cabinet is like, because that would be an easy one. I literally could probably do that in less than an hour. And it has just a bunch of stuff down there that like I don't need anymore. I don't even really know what's down there. There's a lot of like just plastic containers and stuff that we can recycle. But like a lot of it just needs to go. And so then, if it's all gone, I can keep all of my Starbucks cups down there, which would be fantastic, you know? So I think I'm gonna clean that out and then just put all of my Starbucks cups down there, which then would also leave room at the top that I can put like coffee mugs, like glass mugs in the top. So I think that's gonna be, I need to make a list of like all of the projects I want to do and then just kind of start getting started on them this summer or this winter. Although, I mean, I think this is going to be our weather this whole winter. I just have this feeling we're not going to have like any major snow. I don't feel like we're going to have like any kind of snow day kind of thing. I feel like it's just going to be this, which is going to be a long winter. Like, did I pull my lip gloss out already? No. I counted, I think I may have said this already on here. Oh, that's not the lip gloss I want. But I counted, and it's 20 weeks until the 1st of June. It's 20 weeks until the summer, until the pool opens. Oh, it's a long winter. But you know what? It's okay. We'll get a lot of projects done. And we'll get a lot of things done in that time. And clean out the house and hopefully get the basement done. I would love to have the basement done by the summer. Just have it like, just in like less than 10 containers, plastic containers down there in the basement. That's what I would like. And then we could have Goodwill come and, or not Goodwill, like whoever, AMVETS, come and pick up the furniture that's down there that we don't want, which is a couple things, because I can't throw it out. Like this L-shaped couch, and then maybe then we could hire somebody to come down there and finish the basement. I mean, of course, we have to first save enough money to get all this stuff done, right? But so yeah, so it's some exciting things planned. But anyway, that was literally 10 minutes of my day that I thought about that cabinet down there because we were talking about the cup. But anyway, I also have with me a LaCroix. Did I talk about how I bought that AHA water? I don't love that as much as the LaCroix. I'm actually going to open this right now. This is not my favorite. This is the hibiscus. I think the coconut, well, obviously the limoncello is my favorite, but I like the coconut too. Whenever I'm at the store, yeah, see, this is so much better than that other stuff. This is actually not bad. I usually don't love this, but it's not bad. I'm kind of at the point now, I will say this with LaCroix, you kind of have to convince yourself that you like it. Like, I mean, it's just sparkling water, right? But once you kind of get over the hump, I mean, it's obviously better for you than soda or diet soda. Once you kind of get over the hump of like, it's just sparkling water that tastes, you know, different. Like, then you kind of really do start liking it. Like, I really like it now. And I didn't think I would ever say that. So, what did I do today? Well, honestly, I really didn't want to get out of bed today. And so, I didn't do a whole lot. And then I was kind of like just like screwing around on the computer and kind of I cleaned up the kitchen tonight before Alex came home. He's been doing this hot yoga, or I don't know what it's called. I think it's hot yoga. And he goes to this place and they have like these rooms there, and you basically do it like alone, like in a room. Like you schedule out like different times. So you're there by yourself, and then you do it with like on like a TV monitor kind of thing. This hot yoga. He really likes it. He's done it probably 3 or 4 times now. And so he did that after work tonight, and then he came home, and then he just like laid in bed forever, and then he was like gonna take a shower. He took like the long shower and did his hair and his whole skincare regimen and all that kind of stuff. It's funny driving by like McDonald's and these other places and seeing that they're like their inside is closed down and you can see, because like they have like the tables up and stuff or whatever. Which I always thought that McDonald's just had, when I looked, I saw like chairs on top of tables, but I thought McDonald's had booths like in the ground. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway. So I made this food, and then he was like, well, I'll eat some extra pizza if you make the pizza. So I made the pizza and the mac and cheese. He didn't want any of the mac and cheese, so I'm just trying to kind of get rid of some of the stuff that we have, because there's no reason for us to have all this. Well, not tons, but we had like that, like a couple boxes of mac and cheese, and we had these extra frozen pizzas that we bought. So anyway, and then I had seen on Manny MUA's Instagram story that he was watching this show on Amazon Prime called Close Encounters of a Fifth Kind. And it was supposed to be this documentary about alien contact. Apparently this guy, this doctor that's in it, he had done like another movie before called Unthinkable, or I don't know. I looked it up. But anyway, you know, it's interesting when you watch these shows and they talk about like government cover-ups of UFOs and aliens and all this kind of stuff, because I mean, I definitely believe in all of that, and you guys were probably like, oh my god, Peter's crazy, but no, I totally do. I totally believe in aliens. I totally believe in extraterrestrials. I believe that they've been here for a long time. I believe that our government knows about it. I believe that our government keeps it under wraps because of mass hysteria. I believe, I mean, nothing in the movie surprised me. It was actually, I thought, rather boring. And the thing is that the only thing is that it reminded me of the movie Close Encounters of a Third Kind, which if you've ever seen that movie, it's one of the most fantastic movies in the world. And they showed like a clip from it, and I was like, it still gives me chills. Like, that movie is still so fantastic. But, so I watched this movie and I was like, you know, I've read so many books and so many articles, and I've really kept up with it for, you know, 30 years. I mean, since I was in high school, I mean, my friends and I were talking about aliens and reading the articles and reading the books and the Whitley Strieber and all that stuff back in the day. I mean, I have listened to so much Coast to Coast AM. All these people have been on there. All of these conspiracy theories, all of these things that they said in the documentary. And the thing is like, if you haven't seen these documentaries before, yeah, like, it would be really shocking and new, and you'd be like, oh my god. But like, if you've listened to Coast AM at all, I mean, you guys, I used to listen to Coast AM every single night, like literally every single night, unless it was like about some political conspiracy or something like that. But if it was about shadow people or aliens or spirits or mediums, I mean, and they used to have tons and tons of shows. What's this guy's name? George Norrie. They used to have, well, there was the art guy too, but they used to have tons and tons of shows, like tons, about aliens, UFOs, extraterrestrials, government cover-ups, on and on and on, right? Area 51, Roswell, all of that. They like covered all of that on that show. So, like, to then watch a documentary, it's like somebody recommended for me to watch on Netflix about the guy that was like the government guy that ended up going to do the interview. Well, like, I watched it on Netflix, and when I was watching it, like, I started it, and then I like didn't finish it, and then I came back and I finished it later. I can't remember what his name was, but this has been years ago. This was like in the 70s or 80s that he came out and said all this stuff about Roswell and Area 51. But when I watched it, I was like, yeah, they've talked about this. Like, I think he was even on Coast to Coast AM. So I remember it was a friend of mine that recommended for me to watch Coast to Coast AM, and I remember he said to me, be very, very careful, because when you start watching it, it's a slippery slope, like, or when you start listening to it, it's a slippery slope, like, you'll fall down and you won't be able to stop listening to it. And, but it's like, I haven't done this for a while, but my favorite is the wild card hotline. So they do this thing where they'll have like a topic on, right? And the topic will be like people that have been abducted by aliens, okay? And then they'll have on, like, a guy that wrote a book, or a girl that, woman that wrote a book about alien abductions. And then they'll, like, interview them, and, all this. And then and then from, like, I think it's from 4 to 5 a.m., you can call and you can ask any question. That's why it's the Wildcard Hotline. Or you can ask the person a question. And it's, like, I have to say, like, 80% of them are truck drivers that call in. Or it'll be like, just like, people can call in and, ask random questions about whatever. Like, it could be about shadow, it could be about anything. But whenever you're listening to these alien ones, I mean, they're so hilarious sometimes. I mean, I would just get cracking up listening to them, and it would be like, because he has such a soothing voice, and he's like, yes, Janice from Tulsa, Oklahoma, you're on the air. Hi, George. It's Janice, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, this one time, I just come home from work. Now, I work up at the Speedway, the gas station, second shift. So I got off, it was about 11 o'clock. I came home, and my husband, Earl, he had put the kids to bed, already. And he had his friend over, and they were watching the game up in the living room. And they were having themselves a couple of beers. And so, he got some pizza, and I had me a piece of pizza. And I went on the back patio, and I was sitting out there, and I was looking at our back patio now. We got a back patio, it's cement, and then it goes into the backyard. We were going to have a pool, but we decided that we weren't going to, yes, could you get to the story, please, Janice? Yeah, well, like I was saying, we have this back patio, it's cement, like I said, and, we're going to have a pool back there, because, we got a big grass yard back there, and then it goes up into a cornfield out there. We, a couple years ago, we sold some of our acreage. We sold it to this farmer next to us, and we make a little pretty penny off that. Keeps us going. We take the kids to Mexico once a year, things like that. But anyway, I was sitting out there, and I called my friend. I was eating my piece of pizza, like I said, and I had me a beer. I shouldn't probably admit to that, but I do like Jesus, but I do like beer too. And I was having a beer, and I was real tired. My feet hurt, from being at the Speedway all day long. And I called my friend Darlene Joe, and Darlene Joe and I were talking, and I swear to you, all of a sudden I looked, and there was this bright light that came out of the sky. And there was one of them flying saucers. Well, now, Janice, what did that look like? Well, I'll tell you what it looked like. It looked like just like every other picture you have ever seen of one of them flying saucers. It looked kind of like a hat, kind of like my granny used to wear up into the church on Easter Sunday. But it was all gray, and it had lights all around it. And they were red, and they were blinking. And it landed right there in that cornfield, right there behind my house where we were going to make that pool, see? But then we ended up selling that land to that farmer. And I said, Earl, get out here. And Earl, he didn't come. He didn't believe me. Now, nobody has seen it except for me, And, why am I going on and on with this? Because I have to finish the story now. And, then I was sitting there, I said, Darlene Joe, you'll never guess what I just saw land in my cornfield. And she said, well, now that's not really your cornfield, isn't it? Because she sold that to that nice farmer next door to you, because she could go to Mexico once a year. And I said, Darlene Joe, shut up now. There's something coming out of that cornfield. Now, they say they're awfully short, and they say they're gray. Now, he looked a little bit more green than, the rest of them. He was probably about 7'2". I don't think that he was short by any means. And he had on a big old cowboy hat, And he came out of there, and he said, howdy, Janice. And I thought, how does he know my name? You guys, I'm telling you right now, Coast to Coast AM is where it's at. So, when I'm watching these, shows, it just is not, to me, it's like, it's just not, like, I know everything. I've heard it all before, I'm kind of at this point, this is how I feel. Like, I hope in my lifetime, before I am gone from this planet, that I know the truth about aliens. Like, I hope they just, like, I don't know, somebody comes out and, I'm not talking about speculative truth where we see the pictures that are blurry and all that kind of, I'm talking about on, NBC, CBS, ABC, that they come out and say, today the United Nations sat down and met with XY from the planet Jacoby, from the 6th universe, and it is true, and they have confirmed that there are extraterrestrials, and, I would love for that. I would love to see that in my lifetime. I don't know if there would be mass hysteria. Do you think there would be? I know that's the fear. So, like, I had forgotten what, even though I knew it, though, they described it in the show. The first encounter, or the close encounters of the first kind, second kind, third kind, fourth kind, and fifth kind. And basically, fifth kind is where you're having, like, a relationship with these extraterrestrials. And they were kind of, like, doing all this telepathy thing, like, out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know, the documentary got a little weird for me at some point. I didn't finish it. Alex came down and he wanted to watch The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, so I was like, I'll turn this off. I was done with it anyway. I said I'm gonna go take a nap. So I called Tanya Jean, and then we talked for a little bit. And well, we're supposed to have our Monday night literature group tonight, but one of our friends had to pick her mom up from the airport. Last week, Alex asked, he was like, he was like, you didn't have it last week either. And I was like, yes, I did. And you know what? I don't think I did, because I think last week she took her mom to the airport, and I think this week she picked her mom up from the airport. And the reason we didn't have it, because people miss all the time in the group, but she's the one that runs it. So, like, the rest of us are basically Zoom idiots, so we can't host it without her. So, we didn't have our literature meeting tonight, but Tanya and I do have our home group tomorrow night, and we're going, picking her up at 7:30. That's tomorrow night. And what else? I do wish we would have some snow. You know, I see all these pictures from all over the country, and I'm like, how are we in the middle of the Midwest? How are we in the middle of the Midwest? And we're like 2.5 hours south of Chicago, which is so cold off the lake, and yet we don't get any snow. Like, it's the weirdest thing, you guys. It's like Indiana has been, like, isolated or something from, like, winter weather. It's like, and you know, last summer didn't get as hot as it usually gets in the summer either. It's like Indiana is like this real, I'm going to pull in here and see what the weather forecast is. Indiana is, like, in this really weird place as far as, like, weather. Like, my friend Valerie and I were talking about this the other day. I thought it was Tanya and I, but it was Valerie and I. Like, the weather is not the same as it used to be, like, when we were growing up. Like, at all. Like, we used to get a lot of snow, and the summers were, like, 110 degrees, 100 degrees. It's not like that anymore. Where am I at on time? Okay. Let's see the weather. Feels like 16 outside, it says. 24 feels like 16. Okay. Today is 40. 0 precipitation. Wednesday, 45. Thursday, 46. 35. 29. Okay, wait, let's see. Friday, cloudy with snow showers mainly during the morning. That probably won't even happen. Saturday, scattered snow showers during the morning. And then it kind of goes into this Arctic freeze where it's like 28 and 30 for the high. But today it wasn't over. What did it say today's high was? 27. Tomorrow it's 40. Yeah, today was cold. I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing. I was just thinking of that song, About the Weather. Do you guys remember that song by 10,000 Maniacs? I used to love them so much. So I can see about the weather. Let's see a couple comments. Oh, Linda said your audio is the best on YouTube. Linda, you are nice, but a liar. It's awesome. A microphone for wind would help. Are you serious, Linda? Like, I can't, like... Andrea said, I'm not an avid reader, but The Diary of Anne Frank is my all-time favorite book. Thanks for an awesome blog tonight, Peter. Aww. I want to talk about The Diary of Anne Frank in a second. Michelle said, you can have 15 channels for all I care. I'm sitting here reading comments, and then I'm like, I bet the camera has stopped. So let me go in here for a second. I'm kind of parked in a place that I don't usually park. Oh my God, you cannot say that is not so. Oh my God, the place that I used to go for my psychic readings is closed. Oh my God, I will be so sad. You guys, that place has been around forever. Teresa, are you watching? I can't believe this. New Age People is closed down? Like, it cannot be. This place has been here forever, you guys. You get crystals here and everything. Oh, please tell me this is not true. There's not even a sign on the door or anything. Look at this. I am so brokenhearted over this. There's literally... Oh, wait. Oh, here it is. New Age People. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. Thank God it's still there. I thought I was losing my mind. I was. Well, I don't know what was next door to it. I'm so like, all these businesses are just closing. Like, oh, it was Steinmart. All these businesses are just closing left and right. It's just so sad. Okay, I was reading comments and then the camera stopped. So hold on a second. The store is called The Shoe Fits. I think that's kind of cute. Okay, I don't know which comment I read from before. I was reading Gigi's comment, but Sonia said, Peter, I would be so sad if you quit making videos. If you win the lottery, you should travel and take us along for the ride. Love you. Thank you. And then Andrea said, I'm not an avid reader, but The Diary of Anne Frank is my all-time favorite book. Thanks for an awesome vlog tonight, Peter. Okay, so I want to talk about that in just a second. Gigi said, you have to try the American brand of seltzer from Walmart. So good! Okay, well. Pittsburgh Gigi. Oh my God. Two Gigi's back-to-back said, oh yes, Peter, you'll love Three Blue Hearts. The Janet Ivanovich Stephanie Plum series. So many LOL moments. Tina said, love your videos. I'm going to read the Stephanie Plum book soon. Love your, Tina. There's so many books I want to read right now. I have downloaded so many books on Audible. Like, the 100 books last year has so pumped me for reading this year. Tina said, love your videos. Makes my nights and days. Thank you. She Dreams in Digital said, you literally keep me sane, Peter. Oh, thank you. You guys, you guys leave me so many nice comments. Natalie said, I'm reading all the responses. I'm sure Peter's answered this before, but what's with his crazy sleep schedule? What crazy sleep schedule? No, I'm totally joking. I know it's crazy. Does Alex have weird work hours? And Alexa said, I've often wondered that too. I think he just sleeps when he's tired, huh? And then Linda said, because Linda is basically my vlog assistant in here. She said, no, Alex has a regular working schedule. Peter may go to sleep at 11 p.m., wake at 3-ish, do a vlog, then take a nap at 8 or 9 a.m., wake at 1 p.m. Yep, this is it. And someone said, thanks for the reply. I have weird sleep habits sometimes too, so definitely not hating. No, I don't see it as hating either. I know it's strange to people. Yeah, Alex has very normal sleep schedule. What I have been trying to do recently is several nights a week. You know, I don't think it's a whole lot different than, like, a lot of my friends, like, when their husbands or wives go to bed, like, they stay up and work or read or watch TV. And I know people think it's crazy because I'm, like, going in a car and I'm, like, driving around. Well, like, there's no place for me to film at home because we have a loft condo. So, like, it'll keep out. I mean, I can't just sit down there and vlog, right? And so that's why I get in a car and I drive around, because I can do it that way. But what was I saying? I totally lost my train of thought. Well, I might as well be driving while I'm doing this, so. But it was so funny, because, like, tonight I woke up. So what I've been trying to do is a couple nights a week, and Alex doesn't have the same work schedule every day. Like, his work schedule is different, depending on the day. And there's more, I know it doesn't seem like this when I vlog, but it's just because I'm not coming on here and being like, oh, so Alex and I are doing A, B, and C, or this is what, I mean, sometimes I'll say, like, we went to dinner and then this or that or whatever. I think it's the pieces in between that people don't see, like the conversations between Alex and I, if that makes sense, where, you know, like, if Alex is going to bed at, like, 10 o'clock, or if he's laying in bed with the dogs or whatever, like, I'll come up there with him, and, like, I didn't used to do this because I would go vlog, like, at, you know, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, but what I've been doing is going to sleep. This is why there's been a lot of, like, daytime vlogs, and so a couple nights a week, I've been trying to go to bed with him, but, like, Alex is, I mean, like, if he is gone during the day, like, let's say if he's gone at work, I mean, my work, to some effect, is, you know, answering emails and stuff at home and making videos. So, like, I do that, you know, like, when I'm at home during the day, and just keep a completely different kind of, like, work schedule than he does. But it was funny because, like, tonight I woke up and I went into the bathroom and I, like, was kind of, like, washing my face and getting ready to, like, go vlog, and he said, he, like, woke up for a second, because, like, the dogs, you know, come to the end of the bed and whatever, and they're, like, all excited real quick, and he was like, did you vlog already, babe? And I was like, nope, I said I'm getting ready to go vlog now. I mean, he knows it is something that is really, really important to me, and something that I love, you know, and so, my husband is really, really supportive of it. Like, when we don't have these conversations really anymore, but, like, in the past, when I would say, people think it's really strange that you don't mind me going out and driving around. And he's like, as long as you're safe, I don't have a problem with it. He's like, you know, and I just, you know that you love to do it and that you love to vlog. He's really, really supportive of this vlog. I mean, my husband is supportive of my doing YouTube, obviously, you know, 100% anyway. He loves that I, you know, do it, and that I'm able to do something that makes me happy and that I love. But we're very supportive of each other's endeavors, you know, like, and I think that's important in a relationship. Trust me, if Alex had an issue with me vlogging, I wouldn't, like, at night like this, I wouldn't vlog. Like, my marriage is obviously more important to me, no offense, but, no, he's, like, he's the one that, like, wakes me up, and he was like, babe, you gotta go vlog, go vlog, and I'm like, oh, I'll go vlog in the morning, I'm really, really tired, or it's too cold, or whatever, you know? But the other thing is that, my sleep schedule, you guys, has always been crazy. I was thinking about this the other day, because I was talking in my video, was it yesterday? On my drama channel about, like, when I would stay up late and I would make clothes. And I can remember my mom would, like, come in and she would talk to me and, like, she would say, now what are you making? And I would say, oh, I'm making this, like, shirt and this, or, like, this shirt dress for my friend Alicia. And then she would have me show it to her, and I would show her, and I can remember showing my mom, like, the hem and stuff like that, you know, and the material that I was using. And then she'd say, okay, sweetie, I'm going to bed now, don't stay up too late. And I'd say, okay, when I'm done, I'm gonna drive it over to our house, and then I'll be right back. And she would say, okay. And I started smoking, you guys, when I was, like, 15, and, like, my parents didn't like it, but it was, like, we never fought about it. And so I can remember, like, I would finish this outfit for my friend at, like, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I would, like, I would steam it, or, you know, iron it, and then I would fold it up and put it in a bag and drive it over to her house. And I can remember driving, the reason I say that about the cigarette is because I can remember driving over, you know, to her house at 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and she lived, like, 20 minutes from me on the other side of Carmel, and I would, you know, smoke a couple cigarettes while I was gone, come home, and go to bed. And I don't know, like, I mean, school started at 7:10, so, I think, and so, I mean, I always took a nap when I came home from work, or I came home from school, always. I took, like, a 2-hour nap before my mom and I would eat dinner. So, and typically my friend, one of my best friends and I, we would go to Wendy's like a couple nights a week, a couple days, like straight from school, and we would get double cheeseburgers, plain, with a large fry and a Frosty, and then I would come home. So I would, if that was like 3 o'clock, I was back home by 4 o'clock, you know, and then I would lay down from 4 to 6 in the evening. So I don't know, like I slept from 3:30 until 6:30. I don't know how I did it. I've always been able to like go a couple days with like very little sleep and then kind of like catch up with like a lot of sleep, like 15 hours or something. Like right now, like here's the problem, okay, is I wake up, I'm tired, okay? So it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm tired, but I enjoy vlogging at night more than I enjoy vlogging during the day. So I come out here and I'm kind of like half asleep when I start, which is why I warm up the car and I listen to some music and I drive around for a second, and then and then I start vlogging. Well, now it's 3:29, and I've been vlogging for, 41 minutes or something like that at this point, and I'm wide awake. Like, I'm wide awake. So even if I turned this off and I went home, like, I would not be able to go to sleep. So then what ends up happening is I sit on the couch in the living room in the dark with the kitchen light on, and I try to read a book until I get tired, or I watch something on my iPad, which is why I drive around and I listen to a lot of audiobooks. My sleep schedule has always been crazy. I'll tell you when the only time that Alex has an issue with it, which is so funny. Because the other thing is, and if you've watched my vlog for a while, you'll know this, Alex has no problem on a Sunday or like a Saturday off going to bed at like 6 or 7 and waking up at noon the next day. Like, he has no problem doing that. There have been many Sundays that like he wants to catch up on his sleep because he's been real busy through the week, that we'll go to brunch and come home and he's in bed by 6 o'clock, and like at 9 o'clock I'll wake him up, when I've been just like, screwing around the house doing stuff, and I'll be like, are you gonna get up? And he'll be like, no, I'm in bed for the night, because he's so tired, from the week. So the only time that he really has an issue with it is if we're on vacation. So on vacation, we usually go to dinner late, like 8 or 9. We've always been like late dinner people. So even on vacation, like when we go to Unico, we get like the last booking, which is usually 9 o'clock for the restaurant. I think there's actually some 10 o'clocks there too. But we'll get one of the later bookings, like 9 o'clock, and then we'll eat, for an hour and a half, and then we go to the bar, and he'll have a glass of wine, and I'll have like a Coke or a cup of coffee, and we'll sit there and talk and laugh, and then, we'll stay there till like midnight, and then come back to the room, and then he'll watch a show on his computer and I'll watch a show on my computer or whatever. Romance typically occurs earlier in the day. We're at that point, we're ready for our pajamas, and we've been together for 12 years, you guys. So anyway, but like, so, we'll, watch a movie or a TV show sometimes together, or we'll watch, separately, and then he'll go to bed usually about 1, and I'm usually in bed by like 2, and so I can get up at like 8 or 9 o'clock, well, not usually 8, but like 9 o'clock in the morning, and get 7 hours of sleep, and then go to breakfast and be at the pool by like 10, and which is, great, whole day at the pool or at the beach. And then come back, and I always take a nap. Now, he won't take a nap in the afternoon, because he's like, if he takes a nap, this has been the one thing that's been hard for our marriage, is like, he's not a napper. So he would actually prefer me taking a nap and going to take it at like late at night when he goes to bed, versus in the middle of the afternoon, because like in the middle of the afternoon, or like 6 or something like that, like he's just sitting, he doesn't take naps at all. Like, he's like, if I'm gonna take a nap, I'll just go to bed. I've always been a napper, always, So my Uncle Dave was a napper. I think I kind of learned it from him. But yeah, my sleep schedule has always been crazy. And I know that this is going to sound weird, but I'm sure that there's a couple out there that relate to this. Like, I get better sleep. So I'm trying to think of what time I lay down tonight. It was early. I don't know what time it was, but anyway, I mean, it wasn't like 8 early, but it wasn't like, I don't know what time it was, but it wasn't super late. I mean, I got like 4 hours of sleep, 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Like, I sleep so much better and deeper. Well, I was sleeping, I fell asleep while he was watching Real Housewives, and he yelled up, and he said, Boo Radley is up there, because he could hear him walking on the wood floor. But I didn't hear Boo Radley, and sometimes Boo won't jump on the bed by himself, so I had to get off, like, and jump, like, and help him get up on the bed. And then Boo Radley fell asleep right next to me. I made a little nest for him in the fur blanket, a little faux fur blanket. But I said to Alex, I said, oh my God, I fell asleep so quickly and so deeply. I bought this lavender spray. It's like this, I don't know, it's supposed to be like this new agey spray or whatever that's supposed to like help you fall asleep like that. I bought it at Meijer. It was just like this little, it was in the vitamin section, and you spray this linen stuff. It's like a pillow spray that's lavender. Well, I've been using it, and I mean, to tell you, I fall asleep like that, you guys. Like, it's unbelievable. And my mind is one that just, just, you know, scripts and runs and thinks about things the next day that I want to do and whatever. So yeah. Diary of Anne Frank. So I'm reading the graphic novel. Ooh, that house is cool. And I have decided that, I mean, not maybe as soon as I finish it. It's kind of like a shortened version of it. Like, there's actual, so, you know, I knew that I probably couldn't have told you this, but as soon as I started reading it, I remembered that she called her diary Kitty. That she receives this diary for her birthday, or I think her 13th birthday. So, like, it's beautifully done, but it's like, so I'm reading, it's called Anne Frank's Diary, and it's a graphic novel, it's illustrated, and it's hardbound. If you know somebody that loves it, buy it for them for their birthday or whatever holiday. It's on eBay. I think it's like $20 or something. It's beautiful. They also have a hardbound To Kill a Mockingbird, hardbound Anne of Green Gables. There's like a lot of hardbound, like, if you can think of your favorite like classic novel, it's probably been made into an illustrated graphic novel at this point that's beautifully done, like in a hardbound book. I'm starting to collect them because I think that they're really, really cool. But anyway, and they're a good way to read the book, like if you've never read the book before, you know. Like I got the Game of Thrones one. I haven't started it yet, but I will here eventually. So anyway, I like it, but it's just kind of an overview of it. There's actual pieces of the diary or the journal, the diary journal in the graphic novel. Like, they've taken it, there's like certain parts that are just print, but not very much of it. So I was reading it today, and I was like, I think that I'm going to, at some point, read the original. I honestly don't know. I said to Alex, I said, have you ever read it? And he goes, I think I read it for school. I remember Alex and I having a conversation about it years ago, and he said that it was like one of his favorite books that he had ever read. So I really want to read it. The thing is, it's interesting about the graphic novel. I thought like Anne Frank, and maybe like they're just trying to like play up her personality in the graphic novel. I don't know. But like, they make her kind of like a little, I don't even know if I want to use this word in talking about her. Not arrogant, but she kind of thinks that like all these guys have crushes on her. Like, it's kind of a theme of the book. I mean, like, I'm literally like 20 pages into it, and she's had like 3 guys that have crushes on her. And she's always like, all these people are looking at me and they think that I'm so pretty. And was that kind of how she was, like, in the diary? Like, I was not aware of that. But like, it's interesting because she's talking about this guy named Hello, and then there's another guy, and then she talks about this guy that her mom is always asking her who she's gonna marry, and anyway, it was kind of took me by surprise when I was reading it. I was like, I didn't expect that. I thought she was kind of very, like, you know, quiet and subdued. And this little house right here is like, they sell lamps or something. I don't know, but it's like, every time I drive by it, it's so cute. It looks like a little shop with all these like lampshades in it. Anyway, I think the reason I got thinking about it was that when I read The Broken Girls, Broken Girls by Simone St. James, I don't think it's The Broken Girls, I think it's just Broken Girls, there was a huge part of it. Well, one of the girls that had gone to this boarding school, the one that had gone missing, she was a Nazi concentration camp survivor. And so they kind of talk a lot about that in the book. Like, it's a big part of the book, honestly. And it kind of got me thinking about that a lot. And when I was growing up, so my mom, when my dad was doing his medical residency in Chicago, my dad did his medical residency at Northwestern University. And when he was doing his medical residency, my mom taught, well, she had 2 jobs. She worked at Northwestern Library, and she, because they lived in Evanston, actually. They lived 1 block from the lake. You could look out their windows and you could see Lake Michigan. That's where I was born, Evanston, Illinois. Well, actually, I was born at Passavant Hospital. I don't think it exists anymore, but it was downtown Chicago. And my dad was, I think the hospital that he was at was Cook County Hospital. It was like the hospital for Chicago, I think, at that point. But anyway, my dad's stories about what he saw when he was in medical school, he would do like 48, 72 hours on, and then like 24 hours off, like for his medical rotations when he was like doing his residency in there. But anyway, and he did his family practice rotations in Grand Rapids. So they lived in Grand Rapids before they moved to Chicago. And then after Chicago, they moved here, and that was when I was 4. So they lived in Chicago from like 65 to, God, did they live in Chicago that long? 68 maybe? To like 76? Because we moved here when I was 4. To like 8 years. My mom and dad love Chicago to this day. I always thought I'd end up there. I always thought I'd be in some big city, but I really thought Chicago is where I would end up, because we used to spend a lot of time there when I was a kid. But anyway, what was I saying? My mom worked at a all-Hebrew school. She was the only Gentile that worked there. She was the only Gentile that had ever worked there. And it was called Beis Yaakov. And my mom used to tell me the stories about, so the girls and the boys were, she had 2 classes. She had a girls' class and she had a boys' class. And my mom was extremely interested in the Hebrew culture. And she had learned so much by being at this school. And she would talk about these students that she had, you know, that had these very, very like Hebrew names. And my mama had always thought about, like, if she had a, like, she loved the name Rockel, like Rachel, but I guess it's pronounced Rockel, for a girl. But she would talk about how, like, if she wanted to make cookies for the class, or she wanted to have some kind of, like, meal for the class, that, the parents, like the mothers, would have to, like, they would, like, come in and they would, like, scrub down, like, the kitchen in the school so that it was kosher. And my mom, like, would tell me all these stories. And all of the parents at the school had the numbers on their arms from the concentration camps. And, my mom was just like, they would share these stories with her about what they had gone through, you know, and the fact that they trusted her really meant a lot to my mom. She was there for a couple years. I actually have pictures of her in the basement, yeah, when, you know, like the whole class and they're standing there. It's like all the boys, and she used to go through them, and she would point to them, and she'd say, oh, this one girl, she hated me, and she'd say, but this boy was so nice, and his parents always, like, you know, brought me, like, food, and when I got pregnant and whatever. And she was actually pregnant while she worked at that school. That was the school that she was pregnant at, and she worked there full term until her school ended, and then that's where she worked, like, a month before I was, you know, born in June. And so she worked there till, like, you know, the end of May, and then I was born the following month. Isn't that crazy? My mom said that year she read Rosemary's Baby, and the Watergate trials were, I think, that year. And then she also said that that was the summer that the Pope came. That was, like, a big deal. She said she remembered. And she said she could remember thinking, I was actually late. I was due earlier in June. I was, I think it was due on, like, the 19th. I think it was, like, 10 days late. And she said, but it was interesting because she used to say to me, like, what, she would say, like, you know, when people talk about labor and stuff like that. So my mom wanted to do all natural childbirth. And then she got to the hospital, and it was like her water broke, and then she got to the hospital, like, my dad took her, like, right away, and she was in so much pain. And so they were like, do you want an epidural? And she was like, yes. And she used to tell me, she said the worst part of labor was the epidural. And then she said she had the epidural shot, and she was like an hour later, she was like, you were born. She was like, I just pushed and you were there. She was like, it was the easiest thing in the entire world. She's like, I could have done it 10 times over. And my mom did not have a high threshold for pain, so I think it's interesting. And of course, the stories are, I was a very good little baby. I was very quiet, which is so funny. You know, she said, you just play for hours by yourself. She said, we could give you a newspaper, and you would literally just play on the floor with a newspaper, just tearing it up and looking at it and crunkling it and throwing it across. I would just play with a newspaper. Isn't that hilarious? And then my dad made this table, which I still have in the basement, and it's this round slate table that's wood, because they would put their drinks in the middle of it, because I would try to, like, knock drinks off the table. So this table, like, you can walk all the way around it, and I couldn't reach the middle of the table. And that was when I was, like, from there to, like when I started crawling and, you know, stuff. And then my dad also made me this thing called Big Shoe, which we had in our basement forever. God, I wish I could find a basement of Big Shoe. It just kind of looked like a shoe. And what it was, it was this thing that my dad had made out of wood, and it was like 4 steps, because they didn't have, so they lived on one floor in their apartment, and so there were no steps for me to climb, and he knew that kids like to climb, and so he made like 4 steps to like a little landing. And so the landing was probably like 2 feet by 2 feet. I mean, it was like this. And then it had like this, like those bungee cord kind of things on it. So I couldn't like fall out of it. And that was probably like 2 feet tall. And then it had just, so you could just climb up, go to the landing, climb down, be on the floor, right? It looked like a shoe. And my dad had the whole thing covered in this yellow shag carpeting. So it was real soft for me to climb. And that's how I learned how to climb and walk upstairs. Is that not hilarious? My dad made that when I was a little kid. I forgot about that. That's something I've actually never told on here before. So yeah, that was me. It's interesting reading my mom's journals from when I was a little kid, she was very, very lonely as a parent in Chicago. She didn't really have a lot of friends that had kids. You know, most of their friends in Chicago at that time were professionals that were like, you know, my dad's friends in med school, or people that my mom worked with at Northwestern Library, which a lot of them were graduate students that, you know, weren't married. The camera stopped. Anyway, it's just my mom had all these like journal entries that were very interesting. There's this one whole conversation where she's like on the beach listening to these kids talk, and she like wrote down like their whole conversation of what they were talking about. They were like talking about their dads or something. And she's like, I'm so lonely. I'm sitting here listening to this. I don't know. It's just, it kind of made me sad, honestly, you know? It was interesting because, like, my mom used to say that my dad, was like such a great dad. She would say, you know, like he would come home from like a 48-hour shift, and I was like so like exhausted from having just been with you for like 2 days straight. I would literally just like hand you to him, and your dad would like take you and play with you for like the next couple hours. Like he was so great, you know? And then, you know, my dad would say, I wish I had it. I don't know where I have it written down. I'll read it on here somewhere before. I've actually written it in a Peterisms video. My dad wrote this letter to me one year, probably 6 or 7 years ago, maybe longer than that. But it was called On Father's Day. If you want to see it, type in, I read it in my Peterisms video, and I bawl my eyes out every time I read the letter, but type in Father's Day Peterisms on my Peterisms channel. It'll come up, because I read it, and it's this letter that my dad wrote to me, and basically my dad's attitude about Father's Day is that it's like, he calls it a Hallmark holiday, that it's not like a real holiday. My dad's very cynical and sarcastic about things. Funny, like it's all his sense of humor, but like, so in this thing he said, you know, he talked about how like my mother was the one that like made the meals and raised me and had me do my homework and whatever, and like he went in there and he said like the things that he didn't do, you know, but then he said at the end of it, he said, you know, something to the effect of like, his father never told him that he loved me, but he always loved him, but he always knew that he did. And he said, so as fathers go, like, you could have done worse, or you could have done better, but you could have done worse too. And I think that we could really, it just was a really neat, it was a really neat letter. It's like, my dad is such a fantastic writer, and it just was like this really meaningful letter to me, and it's just a really cool thing. And you know, when I got sober, my stepmom's going through addiction with me was not her first time at the rodeo. Like, she had dealt with this before with other people she knew. But for my dad, other than like patience and things like that, oh, the battery's gonna die. Well, I'm just gonna drive until it stops. It really was his first time, you know, having gone through it and dealing with addiction and boundaries and enabling and being hurt and being angry and all of that. And I think he had no clue how to deal with it, you know? And so when I look back on it, the one relationship that I think I had the greatest ability to hurt the most was my relationship with my dad. And I think I did hurt that relationship the most. You know, so the fact that 26 years later, I just talked to him today, the fact that 26 years later, our relationship is repaired, you know, is phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal, you know, and at that time, I never thought that would happen. I never, ever thought we would have a good relationship again. I thought it would be one of tolerance, where my dad just dealt with me because he had to, but I never thought that we would have, like, a good relationship, you know? A solid, loving relationship. And that's what happens with recovery is, you know, we repair relationships. Relationships are repaired and we get our things back in our lives. And I'm so thankful for that, you know? And I'm so thankful for my dad allowing me to grow and to become a different person, a more mature person, you know, and be able to be open and willing to have that. The battery died, I'm back. I actually was going to try to sign off and be like, okay, end it before the battery dies, but I knew I probably didn't have a chance to do that, so. I can't believe I thought New Age people went out of business. I'm right across the street from there right now at Half Price Books. But, see, now it's like almost, it's 3:55 and I'm like wide awake. Well, I'll listen to a little bit of my audiobook. The other store that went out of business, I have no idea what that was. Looks like a nail salon or something. I use these new products that I got from Target the other day. I think they're called Duke Cannon. And honestly, oh, I just got that on my tooth. Honestly, I really liked them. But like, it's the next day and it made my hair kind of, it makes my, like, it itch or something. I don't know what it is. But it's supposed to make your hair really thick. And I use a shampoo, it's an all-in-one shampoo and conditioner, which I don't really love all-in-one shampoos and conditioners. I like to do them separately. But I used it and I was really, I mean, like, it really made my hair full, you guys. Like, it really, like, I mean, you can't really see now, but, like, it really, like, volumized it a little bit. And then I used the matte stuff after it, and I was super impressed with it. I'm thinking about maybe doing, like, a favorites video on my review channel. I have a couple things I want to show. I want to get back to doing, like, monthly favorites over there. And then on my Peter Does Stuff channel, I went to my basement into my boxes of, oh, come on, don't do this tonight. It's going out of focus. I went over into the basement where I have like these boxes of photographs. And I took a manila envelope from upstairs in the pantry, like we have them over the sink. Like you guys needed to know where we keep our manila envelopes. But anyway, I just took like handfuls of pictures and put them in this manila envelope. And so I thought I would just pick out like 10 random pictures on my Peter Does Stuff channel and just go through them and talk about what they are. Wouldn't that be funny? It need to be kind of fun. So I may do that tomorrow or the next day. Tomorrow I've got my meeting, so it kind of depends on what time I get up tomorrow. I already know what I'm doing for my review video. Oh, that was what I did today. That made me so mad. I went to go to Starbucks. I wanted to review this honey almond flat white. And I went there and I thought it was like a new drink that they had because it was listed with the new drinks. But like while I was doing the review, I was like, I feel like I've done this review before. And so I looked it up on my channel and I should have looked at that before. And I had done it. It said exactly a year ago. And I was like, or it said a year ago. And I was like, I did this video a year ago. Like, this is such crap. So, anyway, I was mad about that. But I've been trying to post more and more consistently on all my channels. Like, my Peter Does Stuff channel, I want to post, like, 3 times a week, hopefully. My BookTube channel, 3 times a week. And then my other 4 channels I like to post daily, if I can. You know, my Peterisms channel, my drama channel, my vlog, obviously. I always post daily over here. This is like the one channel I always post on. And then my review channel. But Peterisms, review, vlog, drama. Yeah, those are the 4 that I try to post every single day. Today, I did not, I just took like an R&R day. It was actually a day of laziness. And I only posted on my vlog and my review channel. So, tomorrow Peter needs to get busy. Peter needs to pull it together and get busy! Whenever I shout in my videos, people are like, I was almost asleep. I'm sorry. I think it cracks me up that you guys think that my voice is so soothing. Maybe my 7th channel will be an ASMR I'm gonna title this video my 7th channel, watch. My haters are gonna go crazy. I love it. I always say that, and then I get home and I'm like, what did I say I was gonna call this video? I can't remember now. Anyway. I've got this song stuck in my head. Oh, you know that Two of Hearts song? Okay, so I was actually listening, I don't know where I was, but I was listening to, oh yeah, I was. I Shazammed this song, and I was like, okay, this is the RuPaul's Drag Race song that I was like, I keep on thinking, Two of Hearts, and it's this Dua Lipa song. What, it just came up on my phone? It looks like an update. And, Heartbreak or Love Us Together or something, I don't know what it's called, but anyway, I downloaded the song tonight, and now I can't get it out of my head. Has that ever happened to you? It does. Happens to me all the time. Oh my gosh. Well, we have talked about aliens and UFOs, and we have talked about documentaries and Manny MUA, and we have talked about recovery, and I've cried a little bit, and I've laughed a little bit, and I did a little bit of theater for you, and now it's time for me to bid you good night, like the Grateful Dead used to say. Oh my gosh. So, I hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday. If you're watching this on Tuesday, do something fun today. Do something that will make you happy. Take a healthy risk in your life today. Do something fun. Do something that will get you closer to your dream. And yeah, like I always say, practice random acts of kindness. But like I also always say, don't tell anyone. Just do it because it's the right thing to do. It's a nice thing to do. Put some kindness out there in the world. Most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how important they are to you. Anybody, just say, hey, I want you to know I was thinking of you today. I love you, care about you. Maybe it's not even somebody that you love necessarily, although that's an okay thing. Maybe it's just somebody that you care about deeply, you know? I was like, God, I wish I had a regular water in here, but I don't. And always lead with love, like it says in the 4 agreements. Or like it says in the 4 agreements, always lead with love. And let's put out some compassion, or let's put some compassion, love, kindness, goodness, niceness, forgiveness, tolerance, patience, forgiveness. Did I say that already? I did. Let's just put some love out there in the world. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!